Let's say you've been studying Chinese for a while and you feel pretty confident. One day your friends take you to a Chinese restaurant and there's a scroll on the wall with a phoenix and a big poem next to it. Your friends say, "Hey, you can read Chinese, right?" And so maybe you can read all of the characters, but you read it out to them and the translation comes out like moon, water, tree, lake, night. And it sounds ridiculous. That's because you don't really know how to read poetry. You don't know how to see the structure and the symbolism. And that's what we're going to teach you today on Learn Chinese Now. So we're going to be doing Tang poetry because Tang poetry is really the best poetry. Now, it has a bunch of rules to it, which sounds bad, but when you see a poem by someone who's really mastered all of the rules, the poem itself has a bunch of layers to it, and that makes it really fun to read. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, and become a member by clicking join below. And if you like what we're doing on poetry here, we've got a ton more poem interpretations here. Now, today we'll be looking at a poem called Grass, 草. It was written around 790 AD by a famous poet named Bai Juyi. Now, he wrote this poem when he was only 17 years old. So the first step is that we're going to just read it and translate it word for word. No interpretation, no fancy stuff, just get the meaning of each character. So the title is 草, grass. 离离原上草, lush lush, plain on grass. 一岁一枯荣, 1 year, 1 wither flourish. 野火烧不尽, wildfire burn no finish. 春风吹又生, spring wind blow again reborn. 远芳侵古道, far fragrance invade ancient road. 晴翠接荒城, sunny emerald green meet abandoned city. 又送王孙去, again, send king grandson go. 萋萋满别情, lush lush, full parting feeling. So, let's read this whole thing in directly translated English. Grass. Lush lush, plain on grass. 1 year, 1 wither flourish. Wildfire burn no finish. Spring wind blow again reborn. Far fragrance invade ancient road. Sunny emerald green meet abandoned city. Again, send king grandson go. Lush lush, full parting feeling. All right, that sounds like a pile of gibberish, but we get some vague ideas. Flourishing grass, a dead city, sending away a friend. So, how can we start to make sense of this? We start by understanding the character grouping that the poet is using. We're doing a poem with 5 characters per line. So, usually the character grouping for these lines is 2 plus 3. So, 1 2-syllable word or phrase and another 3-syllable word or phrase. Sometimes you also have groupings of 3 plus 2, or occasionally even 2 plus 2 plus 1. To see traditional Chinese culture come to life on stage, I welcome you to join me at a Yuán performance. Yuán is the world's premier classical Chinese dance company, and I am the MC. Check out the link in the description below. So, the first line, 离离原上草. Well, the 离离at the beginning is a massive clue that this is going to be a 2 plus something. 原上草 translates well into the grass on the plains. But if you split it into yuán shàng and cao, that doesn't make sense. So it's not 2 plus 2 plus 1, it's definitely 2 plus 3. So for Tang poetry, the rule is that every line has to be 2 plus 3. So let's do this poem again, now grouping these syllables into words. 离离原上草, 一岁一枯荣. 离离 means lush, and 原上草 means the grass on the plains. 一岁 means 1 year, and 一枯荣 means 1 instance of withering and flourishing. 野火烧不尽，春风吹又生。野火 means wildfire, and 烧不尽 means to get burned but not totally burned with nothing left. 春风 means spring wind, and 吹又生 means wind blows and the grass comes to life again. 远芳侵古道，晴翠接荒城。远芳 means far away fragrance, and 侵古道 means invades the ancient road. 晴翠 is a little tricky, but basically it's the sun shining on something emerald green. Plants and vines and, I don't know, perhaps grass, as in the title of the poem. 接荒城 means meets the abandoned city. 又送王孙去，萋萋满别情。又送 means send off again. Now, Wang Sun literally means the king's grandson, but broadly speaking, it means the son of a nobleman. Wang Sun Chu could mean the nobleman's son goes away. Qi qi means lush, and man bie qing means full of the emotions of parting with a friend. All right, now let's read our new and improved version. Lush grasses on the plain, each year withering and then flourishing. The wildfires can't extinguish them. Spring winds blow and the grasses come back to life. The faraway fragrance invades the ancient road. Emerald green under the sun meets the abandoned city. I send off the nobleman's son again. Lush grass, I am full of emotions of parting. Oh, fancy, fancy! So we've got a real poem going here. Now, this is still a very literal translation. Some people take more liberties when they translate, but I think at this stage, we can just stick closely to the text and make sure that we're not overinterpreting the poem. But how do we know what the poet's really trying to say? Oh, well, we'll get into that. There's lots more to delve into in part 2 of this series. Until then, 再见! If you enjoy the deeper meaning behind Chinese culture, folklore, legends, and strange true stories, then come explore more with me on Jared Tells Tales, where mystery, meaning, and the otherworldly still live on. Click the link to watch your first tale.